Hey tubers, Bart coming at you from the basement lair. Yeah, haven't seen me in a while. Moved down to the basement to give the man's cave up to a kid, so they weren't all in the same room fighting anymore. Boys would be boys, right? They get along super well, but it's close proximity for all three of them to be in one room. It's been a while. I'm way overdue. I'm gonna guess it's probably been 6-7 weeks, maybe more. Apologize for that. Yeah, shit, life happens, I suppose. But I got a pile of goodies to show off to you. Only particular order I'll go in is we'll go raw and then graded here. So check this out. What year is that? 1994 49ers Cheerleaders Gold Rush pack of cards. It was listed for like $2 and $2 shipping, and I was like, all right, you got me. So picked that up as a random anomaly for the PC. NT Game Used or Game Worn Montana here. I got a couple others that go with this set, and the year in front of this and the year behind this, but within that same design and everything. So kind of cool there. Goes with a matching grouping of cards. I don't know why this one just showed up on my random best match or something. I don't know what the heck how I found this thing, but thought it was cool. An enclosed piece of material was personally worn by Knute Rockne. So I'm not sure what that is. That's probably a shirt. But it's out of 250 from 08 Donruss playoff. Pretty cool. Knute Rockne. Really happy for this. So this chronology set has a ton of capitals in it, so I've been picking them up, and I needed an Adam Oates, and I really wanted the Adam Oates because this is the uniform that I identify with when I was a teenager, and going to lots of hockey games and watching them and stuff like that. But the only one for an extended period of time was listed in ComC for $98. I was like, that's a terrible thing to say, but I was about to say Adam Oates ain't even worth $98 to me. That's a terrible thing to say, but you know what I'm getting at. I was like, there's no chance in hell, but that's just this lone card floating and for me to finish this little project I got going on. But one came up at auction, and I think I won this for the equivalent of $14 or $15, whatever it converted to Canadian. But pretty happy with that. That's 2019 Upper Deck Chronology, so pretty sweet on card auto there. We'll see how this one does in grading. I like these designs for sure. The Captain in Charge with the big C patch. There is the 2024 Fred Warner. That is Blue Crystal, I believe it's called. That's numbered to 15. Submitted the Kittle from the previous year. That was the Black Pandora version. Got a mint 9 out of that. I think that was out of 20 or 25. We'll see how we do on that one whenever we do send a sub in. But I got a good stack going. Prices are not coming down by any means. Just a simple pickup here. I like to get the Topps Living of all the Nationals as they come out. I used to display them because right when they first came out, they were kind of cooler and seemed a little bit more rare. But now they fall into the kind of the junk wax of it. But $5-6 to keep it going. I'm gonna go with it, and it's James Wood, All-Star this year, doing fantastic things, having a strong enough season to end up being, at least maybe on RBIs, be like top 5 or 6 all-time single-season Nationals performance. I consider just Nationals. I don't go with the Expos because It's Canada stuff. We don't worry about that, right? But had a great season, so happy to get that one. I'm just a sucker for these, and it looked really good in the listing, and I would never give myself credit for getting a 10 on one of these, but I think it should pull a 9. That's your trophy collection from 94 Pinnacle. Yep. It's the Ricky Waters. Had 3 seasons with us, 3,000-yard seasons in succession, so that was pretty cool. Actually, I think one of those years was like a 950, but we'll count it. 2020 Donruss Kittle Gold out of 50. Definitely, I gotta check myself, right? Because PCs grow so fast. If you're in the game for long enough, just a couple cards each year on a player, like all of a sudden you got piles, in a couple years later. But definitely have always been big on Kittle, but now with another contract extension going, he's a lifer. He's gonna, I think with a solid season this year, he'll end up being top 4. Hell, maybe 3. I gotta look it up again. Top, career receiving yards as a Niner. He's still got to get the touchdowns up. That's not his fault, but big time all-timer for us as he's moving up and with statistics, not just popularity. The popularity is huge for George Kittle. All right, into the slabs. I don't know. Hall of Fame rookie. It was like $50. 55 Topps All-American. How was I going to say no? Benny Friedman. PSA 6, well-centered, fresh slab. Say less. This is a color match. It's only out of $3.99, so not rare, but I thought this was the best-looking version. Where's it? Oh, you can't see it, but there's the orange one in a magnetic right there. Out of 50, I think. And it showed up a little damaged, and so I didn't think I'd grade it. And it was just like, And then I saw a gold one out of 10, and based on this gold background and then having a gold border, I was like, that looks like crap. And, out of 10, they want crazy money for it. So I didn't pick any of those up, but a red or a gold is always something you're kind of looking for if you're a Niners guy. And so here's the red, and out of $3.99, so it's a little bit more attainable. And somebody listed that one, sent an offer. I said, say less, let's get it. Willie Lanier, needed that for a couple of the bigger Hall of Fame rookie sets. Re-adding that one to the PC after a few years of missing. 90 Pro set. This is Super Pro. I never hit one of these myself. I have a raw one. It's not in great condition or whatever. Man, for the cheap, I saw a PSA 9. The 10s are real rare. It's, 90 Pro set in PSA is always kind of a rough go at it. I don't even know if I've ever had I'm sure I've done at least once, but I don't know if I've ever had the guts to send a 90 Pro set in, and I've graded so many cards. It's just that ridiculous. Like, you just know, like, there's no chance. The edges and everything are a mess. So PSA 9 is great, and the pop is super low on these. So last time I saw a 10 and what it went for, I don't know, it was like $400 or $500. So I was never waiting for that, and I thought it was just a nice nostalgia thing. Got some good ones showing up here. Check this out. Certain cards I have seen go at certain rates, and I was like, I better pick one of these things up before the price points start passing by too fast. So I picked up a 62 Ditka. Beautiful looking card. Biggest downgrade there is that edge right there. You can see the color kind of missing. It looks more like a print problem than it is an actual just straight scuff or anything. But either way, I'm sure that makes it play into the grade. 5.5, still a fantastic grade 462 for sure. Very well centered, fantastic color. So unless you're getting just a super high grade, or that's what you're looking for, you've got to be okay with some sort of blemish, if you will. And if that's the one I end up with as the major one, I'm totally okay with that, because everything else is looking fantastic on that. So got me a 62 Ditka. Speaking of Kittle, this is Pop 1. I've been on the lookout for these. I thought I was going to be on the lookout for 2 of these, because Deebo Samuel has one of these, but I'm not picking up any Deebos anymore. Now that he's on the Redskins, he didn't do enough for us to be an all-timer as far as 49ers go. One first-team all-pro season doesn't get you into the long-term collection in the same way as other performances do in longevity. So only have to get to Kittle now, and it's a fantastic-looking card. Crown Jewels from 2022 Contenders. Not a numbered card. I don't know the rate at which these were inserted. I do not think it's high. And that's a Pop 1. So pretty excited for that. A raw one will, always cost you 25 or 30 bucks or whatever. So, and you can just imagine those cards looking like that aren't going to grade too well. So I was happy to find a 10. Paid a couple bucks for it, but I'm very happy with that. Been on the hunt for this one for a while, and kind of waffled for a long time. The few times it did pop up, didn't quite have maybe a spot in the PC. It just was a card by itself that stood alone. I was like, I want that. And then guess what? This year, James Wood has a card just like this, so it'll at least have a matching pair once I pick that one up. Those are going for a pretty penny right now, but it'll come down because the pop is higher on those. But Home Field Advantage from Topps. This is 2022 Juan Soto. And being in the DC area right now, and from the DC area originally, all of these are really cool elements. Even got Abe Lincoln with a ball cap on in the back there at the memorial. Got the Capitol Building, got the Washington Monument, got the flag. PSA 10, that's only a Pop 21, and these get subbed at a pretty significant rate. So lots of 9s out there, but Pop 21 on the 10s. So wasn't the cheapest card, but real happy with that. And now there's a James Wood to match it, so that's going to be pretty cool too. And that is on my hunting list. Another Hall of Fame pickup, chipping away at some of those sets. Kind of the fat guys with no stats are a little bit harder to and less sexy, but the prices aren't crazy either by any means. So Art Shell, pick that up, PSA 8. It's kind of a weird one. I'm slightly indifferent to this card given the amount I paid for it, but I always wanted to get one and see whether I liked it, because the pictures on eBay don't do it justice. I think it's cool. I think I still am partial to Shaquille O'Neal in a white pinstripe Magic uniform. The black pinstripes don't always do it for me, but this is still a really cool card. I think I'm going to hold it for a little while, let it grow on me. Oh, it looks real cool in the light right there. Beam Team from 92, Shaq rookie. PSA 9er. That's pretty sweet. And then an all Hall of Famer here. Got the Joe Schmidt from 56. And a nice clean PSA 7 there. And then 2 oversized ones. I'm not real sure where these came from. I have 3 out of the 4 in the set now, because I've had the Super Bowl 23 one. I did not win the Super Bowl 19 one here, but there's one for Super Bowl 16. Larger card. And then here's the one for Super Bowl 24. These are both PSA 9s. So unless somebody subbed it a long time ago and got to 10, you know, there can be no expectation you'll ever find these in a 10, you know, a raw one that you could get a 10 graded or anything like that. So pretty happy with those. They were sent on the same submission because the serial numbers are only 3 apart as well. And that's what I got for you. I got one jumbo card to show you. I will show you that next time. But real happy with that. It's one of those ones where you have to make the purchase and figure out all the details later. So look forward to that. But I missed you guys. Back in the game, I guess, for now. We'll see what the next video is. Hopefully sooner than the gap of time that spanned until this one. But thanks for watching. Until next time, keep collecting and have fun at the National. I'm not gonna make it this year. I switched my roles at work while not changing stations. Normally every other year I change stations, so that's at least half of the Nationals I can't go to. This one I didn't change station, but I changed my role in a significant way, so it wasn't one of those ones where you just dip out. My family has a tendency to want to go on a lot of vacations, so personal vacations aren't usually on the menu as well. So it is what it is, but I'm getting a pretty cool award from PSA this year. So I would be, I guess, getting that on a stage or something if I went. So that's kind of a shame, but still pretty cool all the way around anyway. Until next time, later.